Hi Leo, welcome to your love reading for July 2017. Let's go ahead and get into your reading and see what comes up for you for the month of July. This is the love reading for the sign of Leo for July 2017. The first card you have, Leo, is the Three of Pentacles. Love reading for Leo, July 2017. The Eight of Wands. Okay, a couple of cards getting my attention here. Let's go with this one here. The Seven of Cups. This was actually at the bottom of the deck when I properly shuffled. Let's go with this one here. The Five of Wands. The Hermit, the Magician, we have a card in reverse, and I don't work with reversals. What are you? We have the Knight of Cups, but he has come up in reverse. So we'll see how that ties in with the reading. The Ten of Swords, and the Queen of Swords. Okay, so the card at the bottom of the deck is going to represent the main energy around your love life for July. And you have the Devil. So I'm not really surprised to see this message, considering that the Knight of Cups was in reverse. You got the Ten of Swords, you got the Five of Wands, the Seven of Cups. I feel like, this energy is telling you have to use caution in the month of July, especially around relationships where they may not serve you anymore. But we will see how this ties in with the rest of the reading. You do have the Three of Pentacles. So to me, the Three of Pentacles, this is a message of really trying to make a relationship work. And I feel like there's some confusion as far as, is this relationship moving forward? Are we moving to the next level? The Three of Pentacles means that you're not only just doing the work, but you're trying extra hard to make something happen. Now, on this side over here, you have the Seven of Cups. Like I mentioned, this card was at the bottom of the deck when I properly shuffled, and this represents confusion. It represents kind of being emotionally overwhelmed. This is significant, with the Devil kind of being the main energy. You could be confused that you're the only one giving in a relationship. You could be confused about your partner's attitude. The Devil can also represent kind of being overly pessimistic, being overly negative. I feel like here somebody is trying, really hard with the Three of Pentacles, and there's confusion as far as why is this not working out the way that I thought? And there's also the sense of being really emotional about it. You do have the Eight of Wands right in the middle of both of these cards, and the Eight of Wands is a really positive card of change and movement, especially movement where there has not been any type of significant change. So I feel like for those of you where you have been really trying to get rid of this energy here, maybe to make your partner more loving, more honest, less pessimistic, whatever it is, I feel like you're definitely trying a little bit harder in the month of July, and I definitely see something changing here with the Eight of Wands. This can also represent communication that changes everything. So for some of you, you can, perhaps be hearing from someone from the past where maybe this was the main energy. There could have been an ugly ending, a painful ending, something that really hurt you. This is some type of positive communication. This is kind of good news that has you all fired up. You're confused perhaps about maybe why you're hearing from this person. You're confused about where this is going. But the Three of Pentacles, this tells me that somebody, whether it's you or someone around you, is trying really hard to make things happen in the month of July. Now, this row here, you have the Five of Wands. So the Five of Wands, this is a card sometimes of competition, but it's mostly this energy of pettiness. Again, going back to the main energy here, I feel like you have to be careful with partners where there are, power struggles. Maybe both of you are really opinionated. You're a fire sign, so you're probably very fiery, and you probably have really strong beliefs. I feel like you have to be careful around relationships where both people's egos, clash. That is the energy of the Five of Wands. These are two people who do not understand each other, who just want different things. So perhaps that is what is causing this energy from the Devil. There is maybe negative energy because you and your partner want different things. This could be that one partner wants to get married, wants to stay single, one wants to have children, one says let's wait, one wants to move, the other one doesn't want to. It's going to be different for everyone, but the Five of Wands does represent competition and just kind of a really petty energy. But I still feel like somebody is trying really hard with the Three of Pentacles here to turn this around, to get, kind of cancel out this energy, to get you back on track. Now, here you have the Hermit. So the Hermit is telling you that you have a lot of thinking to do, a lot of soul searching. You have two major arcanas right here. Yes, there's this petty energy and it can be arguing, bickering, but you got two major arcanas here. You've got the Hermit and you've got the Magician. The Hermit is saying, take a step back from everything. Take a step back from all the arguing, taking shots at each other, the pessimism, the negativity, or just kind of don't listen to whatever it is that's coming from your partner. The Hermit is telling you to look beyond that. So you might have a lot of thinking to do when it comes to a relationship where you are just kind of really confused. You do have the Magician here. And the Magician does represent, that you have a part to play in this. So for some of you, it could be that you're looking at a relationship that has a lot of issues, where maybe it has become an unhealthy relationship. Maybe there are some things about this partner that concern you, that has you really, emotional and confused. Like, why is this happening? The Magician is telling you that you have a part to play in this. Now, this is not going to be for everyone, but I definitely feel that for some of you, especially if there is something really negative going on, like abuse, if you're staying in that relationship, then you're accepting that energy. The Magician is saying you're making all the magic happen yourself. So it can either be positive magic, as in beautiful things happening in your love life, or not so positive magic. So I feel like here you have to take action. You have to make things happen. So for some of you, and you're having a lot of thinking to do about this with the Hermit. You have a lot of thinking to do, perhaps about a relationship, where there's always constant fighting, arguing, bickering, pettiness. You have a lot of soul searching, like what is really going on here with the Hermit? The Hermit is not just going to accept what's happening at face value. He's going to keep digging. He's going to find out what the truth really is. And the Magician is just saying that, you have a huge part to play in what happens in your relationship. I do feel like for some of you, you have a really positive message with the Eight of Wands that things can turn around for you. Things can change if you take action. Now, down here, remember, we had this energy from the Knight of Cups, which is a really positive card of positive movement and change in your love life. It can even be kind of a knight in shining armor, but he came up in reverse for you. So I feel like there could be changes in a relationship, but it may not be the changes that you want. Not if you're not taking action. And I feel, going back to the first card, the Three of Pentacles, that some of you may have to work extra hard to get this Knight of Cups upright. So you may already have this knight in shining armor in your life, but it could be that the whole relationship is kind of upside down right now. I feel, with the Three of Pentacles, again, you have to try extra hard. I feel like that will pay off for you with the Eight of Wands being here. You may be confused about how that's going to happen. You may see all this, energy of pettiness. You may feel like this is really unhealthy, negative. For some of you, you can make this right. But I feel like your knight in shining armor is not acting like a knight right now. Now, you also have the Ten of Swords. So the Ten of Swords does mean that, that maybe you feel hurt, you feel betrayed, you feel stabbed in the back. For some of you, it's time to kind of leave that behind. depending on what it is. Again, I want to emphasize this is a general reading. Depending on what this is, it could be that, you know, you and your partner maybe have just not been getting along. Stress at work, stress at home. You can get past this. The Ten of Swords does mean that, you know, you've been through the worst. It's time to move on now. Of course, you know, if there is something extremely negative going on, lying, cheating, abuse, obviously that you can't really get past. Depending on the cheating, that would depend on you. But the Ten of Swords, it does mean that, you know, you've been deeply hurt, but it's time for you to move on. It can also be, I want to go back, that for some of you, you've been through a difficult breakup. Let me just move the camera for you. That you've been through an extremely painful breakup where this knight has broken your heart. And you're finding it extremely difficult to move on with the Ten of Swords. That is for you, you know, what the devil represents. An extremely painful experience. That's kind of maybe left you feeling really pessimistic about love and relationships now. For those, you know, where that applies, you do have a person here, the energy of someone who's an air sign. This could be the person that broke your heart, male or female, sun, moon, or rising, or it could be somebody new coming into your life. For those where, you know, you're already coupled and you're just kind of not getting along, again, your knight is in reverse. He's not really being very loving to you right now. You kind of feel like, you know, betrayed and kind of lost in the relationship. This this Queen of Swords can be that partner. Male or female. This is the energy also, if they're not an air sign, this can be someone who's very kind of mental and emotionally detached. So they may not be sharing their emotions with you. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what other messages come up for you. Let's go with this one here, and you have the Three of Wands. Okay, what other messages are there for the sign of Leo for July 2017? The Wheel. Another Knight, the Knight of Pentacles. I definitely see a theme now that we've pulled more cards. You have the Knight of Cups. You have the Knight of Pentacles. All the Knights represent change and movement. But you also have the Wheel. Excuse me. So the Wheel does represent, this is the ultimate card of movement. This represents things finally shifting in your life. It's finally your turn to be on top. So it's finally your turn to be loved, to get married, to have children, to have a home. Just kind of looking at the energies that came out with this major arcana. You have the Three of Wands. Let me bring her up for you. You have the Three of Wands. So this is telling you that, you know, your time will come. And for some of you, it can be that, you know, not everything is worked out in the month of July, but you're definitely getting the ball rolling if you're kind of seeing that you have some part to play in kind of fixing things and healing things and seeing, you know, what the universe is trying to tell you about your relationship, about your love life. The Three of Wands is a really positive card of, you know, waiting for that perfect opportunity. So I feel for some of you, you definitely have something positive to look forward to. And for some of you, this is, you know, obviously this big change, this big transformation in your love life. Now, you did have the Knight of Pentacles with these two cards. So the Knight of Pentacles, it represents things moving rather slowly. So I feel this is especially significant because it came out with the Three of Wands. That's why I kind of feel like don't expect everything to kind of be magically healed and fixed in the month of July. I definitely feel like there's some difficult energies for Leo in July. For some of you, they could be minor, just kind of, you know, petty things. Your partner's getting on your nerves. You're just not seeing eye to eye. You're not spending time together. They're just not being your knight in shining armor. For some of you, it might be more serious. But I feel like, there's an energy of you're moving away from this. The two knights right here. Even though this knight is in reverse, the knights are change and movement. And again, with the wheel here, that kind of adds to the energy that things are moving forward in your love life. So even though you may not see it all manifest perfectly, in the month of July, I feel like you're finally leaving this behind you. The devil. You're leaving, the pain, or you're leaving the negative energy. You're finally moving on, and you do have the Ten of Swords telling you that it's time to move on. It's time to move away from this. Okay, so let's see what other messages come up for you from this deck. What other messages are there for the sign of Leo for July 2017? You have the Five of Cups. Look how this card wants to come out here. Nine of Cups. Nice. There's another one doing that. Two of Pentacles. So at the bottom of this deck you have a repeating card. The Seven of Cups. So you already have that energy over here. I'm going to try to see if I can pick it up. I'm having trouble. Okay, good. I got it. You have a repeating message. So out of the entire reading, this is probably the most important message that you need to hear. July can be very confusing for you. For some of you, there can be more than one person in your life. And I say that because you have the Two of Pentacles. This also is a card of choosing. Choosing between two people. Feeling stuck. So for some of you, the message is that perhaps you're choosing between two people. Maybe one of them is this knight in shining armor that is no longer, kind of bringing you love. For some of you, this can be a really emotional time for you, especially with the energies that I see here. Okay, so I feel like that is, probably one of the most important messages for you for the month of July, is that you could be confused. You might be really confused about, what's happening in your relationship. With the Hermit being here, you have to look at this very carefully. Kind of look beyond the illusion. You also have the Nine of Cups. Sorry, I skipped over here. The Five of Cups. So this is kind of adding to this energy of, tension. And, you already have the Five of Wands right here. All the fives are difficult. The Five of Wands, the Five of Swords, the Five of Pentacles. There's a sense of sadness here. This could be a relationship that didn't work out, and you're mourning the loss of that relationship, or you're just upset, you're sad that you and your partner are not seeing eye to eye, they're not connecting like you used to. You do have a really extremely positive message after that. You have the Nine of Cups. So the Nine of Cups, this means your wishes can be granted. That's why I feel like everything you see here, although some of it can seem challenging, it's not going to apply to everyone. And for everyone, it's not going to end in going your separate ways. The Nine of Cups means that your wishes are granted. This also represents a lot of happiness. Immense happiness. You finally get what you want. But I feel like for some of you, there is some sadness as far as like, why isn't this working out? But I feel like that turns around for you. And again, with the Wheel, this, they're telling you that this is your time to be happy. But I do feel like there's some action that you have to take. You have the Two of Pentacles. So like I said, for some of you, it could be that you're choosing between two people. That's not going to apply to everyone. This is especially true for singles. There could be two wonderful people that you're meeting, or you might already be in a relationship. And then, with this person that's kind of in reverse, and you're meeting somebody new, possibly an air sign, and you have to choose. But this also means kind of scattered energy, especially for those who are coupled. You might feel like your relationship is all over the place. It's in limbo, and it's kind of like, I don't know where I stand. I don't know what's going on. That definitely makes sense with everything that I see here. So I feel like for the month of July, you might feel really confused about a relationship or your love life. You might feel confused. You might feel overwhelmed. There can be pettiness with a partner. You might feel like you're just not getting along. But I feel like there's some type of movement. Some movement. Perhaps something that you've been waiting for with the Three of Wands. But whatever it is that's going on, you're being told here with the Ten of Swords, like, let it go. It's finally time for you to move on. Whether you're moving on from a partner or you're moving on, you and your partner are finally moving on from a really difficult, unpleasant phase in your relationship. Okay, Leo, this has been your love reading for July 2017. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will speak to you again next month.